Thank you very much. I'm very humbled, very honored to be here tonight, to be allowed to stand and speak in front of so many wonderful and beautiful people. I would like to start with a little experiment. In a moment, I'm going to show you a couple of words on the screen. I would like you to read them out nice and loud, all together, at the following pace. 1, 2, 3. Is that all right? Let's do it. Red, blue, green. Perfect. We're going to try the same thing one more time, just to see how everybody is doing. Focus on the words again. Same rhythm, nice and loud, all together. Blue, green, yellow. Fantastic. Good audience. I brought you now some colored shapes, different colored shapes. And this time we're going to change the rules. I don't want you to think about the shapes. I want you to think about the colors. I want you to call out the colors. Only the colors, not the shapes. Let's do it now. Perfect. The screen shows different colors than this one. That is correct. Wow. Okay, it's probably the angle. Now you've done very well. Let's continue this one more time. I brought 3 more words, and we're going to do the same thing as with the shapes. You're going to focus on the colors, call out the colors, not the words. Are you ready? I can't hear you. Yes. Perfect. Just the colors. I think we're going to try that one more time, all right? Are you ready? Okay. Fantastic. I see that we're almost all in unison. Now you're probably wondering why you're doing this test, right? Ask me, why are we doing this test? Because it's fun. This test was devised in 1935 by an American psychologist called J. Ridley Stroop. It's called the Stroop effect experiment, and he used it in his research for cognition and interference. Some of you did great, some of you did not that great. Who cares? What is relevant to me is that this experiment shows us how unique our minds are, how everybody reacted or experienced what we saw on this screen differently. In fact, if you ask 100 people what a great life looks like or feels like, you'll probably get 100 different answers. I was 12 years old when I caught my first conscious glimpse of how my mind works. Very weird. It was arts class. During that specific lesson, our teacher was openly evaluating our assignments. She was very stylish, she was passionate about art, and she was demanding. So she was looking at our ink art, because that's what we were studying. And even though I still believe that Mr. Rorschach would have been proud of some of our works, she was less than impressed. At some point during the class, she asked us, who knows what symmetry is? The words materialized, the image just took shape, and I raised my hand right away. And Mrs. Mersch, that was her name, looked into my eyes with her ice blue eyes. I was frozen. And I'm like, I know what it is, but I can't explain it. I know it's not this, but it's this. The entire class laughed, she smiled, and nodded. Fast forward 3 years. German class, we're reading Friedrich Dürrenmatt's The Judge and His Hangman. Mr. Putt, our teacher, asked us if we could identify the moment in the book that will lead up to the denouement. Same thing, the bullet, the scent, the shiver. I raise my arm, a voice comes out of me. Page 19, third line from the bottom. The class laughed again. Mr. Putt did not smile. He was furious, but I was right. The coolest incident happened no later than a couple of months ago. The wonderful American journalist, writer, and magician Chloe Olwitz came to see my show Imaginarium in Las Vegas, and she wrote an article about the show afterwards. And I would like to share this short paragraph with you. The stories that branch out from that themed trunk are so stylistically diverse that they should not make sense. Layered atop the familiar is a mix of stranger influence, the salt and sweat of a Cancan music hall, the glitz of a blue and yellow big top, the seduction of a Moroccan riad, and a sadistic accent I've started to affectionately refer to as a German bondage sex dungeon. All sharp angles and leather straps. I know. Mostly by my own fault in naming them, the individual elements seem at odds, even in conflict. But as much as they shouldn't have worked, Imaginarium was transporting, I apologize. And this brings us to my condition. I've always known that I was different. I never really fit in. My senses are a perpetual vortex. Just take Modest Mussorgsky's pictures at an exhibition on steroids. To this day, I still cannot explain properly my condition, but I finally know its name. It's called synesthesia. Synesthesia is a neurological phenomenon in which the brain links a person's senses in a rare manner, prompting unusual sensory responses to stimuli. I found out about it when I was 19 years old, and it all makes sense. No pun intended. The images, the sounds, the connections, the rhythms. I also discovered that I was not alone. We have some people right here that match the profile. We have Vincent van Gogh, Duke Ellington, Vladimir Nabokov, Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov, Franz Liszt, Pharrell Williams. Now raise your hand if you're familiar with what I'm just talking about. All right, that's a few people. Raise your hands if you are actually experiencing what I'm talking about. Fantastic, we are not alone. I discovered a very fundamental thing about my life back then. It's okay to be different. It's okay not to fit. What I long considered to be a curse turned out to be an instrument, an asset, a gift that allows me to use my voice, my point of view, to make a difference around me. Now, what is your voice? What is your point of view? How do you see or feel the world? What does a great life look like to you? Dig deep into your souls. Explore its many facets. Find your own answers. After all we can offer our fellow human beings is how we see the world. Now imagine, or have you ever wondered, the odds of being born in this specific time, place, and circumstances? Now just raise your hands if you do know the odds. Nobody. All right. The odds, or the commonly agreed upon number, is 1 in 400 trillion. Think about it. You're not here by mistake. Or maybe some of us are. But if there's just one reason that you're supposed to be here, it's because you have something unique to say. 1 in 400 trillion, to me, is pretty unique. And I even believe that people want to hear it. So just tell them. I am lost. I don't know if I discovered magic or magic discovered me. All I know is that magic is the perfect medium for me. What better way for me to talk about life, death, resurrection, and many other mysteries in a way that combines light, sound, sets, movement, storytelling, and creates a unique sensory and immersive experience for my audiences. I've performed for millions of people all around the world, and I could not begin to tell you how satisfying this has been. And I don't mean the applause. I don't mean the glamour, the jet setting, even the money. By the way, Seth, I want my $50 back. I'm talking about looking into the audience, seeing the smiles, the happy faces, wonder, tears. I'm talking about this. David, I am Janelle from the 4 p.m. show tonight that happened 2 years ago during Christmas. We want to say thank you. Our son was diagnosed with familial dysautonomia, a progressive and life-ending illness in which the nervous and autonomic system starts to fail. He also has epilepsy and is a hemophiliac. He's had 3 surgeries this year, and it's not been a good few months. He slept 12+ hours last night, and your show was the highlight of the day today. We're out of here visiting my brother for Christmas. My son Brady talked about the show up until he fell asleep a little bit ago. We're here to make memories, as we don't know when we will be able to travel back. Thank you for helping Brady keep his smile. Sorry, Sean, that's Brady's father, did not get on stage. He doesn't like to leave Brady's side in case something happens. They had a plan in place so I could stay and watch the show in case Brady felt he was going unconscious. Thank you again. I stayed in touch with Janelle, and I actually wrote to her yesterday to ask if I was allowed to use the message that she sent me. And Brady has been sleeping 18 plus hours lately. When I started doing magic, all I cared about was performing. People noticed me. I existed. And then I started thinking about fame, fortune, and everything that goes with it. And I'm pretty sure I just sounded like Freddie Mercury. But I never expected people to care that much. I never expected to have such an impact that people would feel compelled to tell me. The thing is, we all have this ability to transport people. We all have this ability to touch people in one way or another. What inspires you? What drives you? What energizes you? How does your job express your personal values? Is there anything in your personal talent or touch that can make a difference around you? How can you make people's lives better? And don't forget, there's only so many tomorrows. I would like to do one more experiment. I will ask or throw this little piece of paper into the audience, and whoever catches it will join me on stage. Is that all right? Okay. Wherever it lands, whoever catches it, perfect. Let's give her a big round of applause. Join me right here. The steps are over there. What is your name?
Elisa.
Elisa. Applause for Elisa, ladies and gentlemen. Elisa, where are you from?
I grew up here.
You grew up here. Perfect. Nice to meet you. Hello, enchanté. Please join me. Elisa, I have a glass, I have a lock, and I have a couple of keys. I'm going to ask you to check out the keys because one of the keys opens the lock, the others don't. Before you do that, I have one question. Do you have a favorite color?
Yes.
Which one is it?
Apple green.
Apple green, very specific. That tells me something about you, and I think we may be able to work with that. Elisa, please take the keys, put them in the lock, and try to open the lock. As I said, only one key opens the lock, the rest does not. Put it in the glass, please, the ones that do not work. Key number 2. No. Key number 3. Key number 4. No? Key number 5.
Thanks.
My pleasure. Keep it open. Show everyone. The lock is open. I'm going to take the key away, Elisa. We're going to throw it into the glass. Please mix the glass. I want the keys to be completely mixed. I'm going to reclose this lock. This lock, ladies and gentlemen, could represent anything, but today we're going to imagine that it represents our dreams, our goals, our ideals, our values. Elisa, would you like to continue participating with me, or shall we ask someone else to join us on stage? It's your choice. You can stay? Perfect. Then come in the center. I want everybody to see you. Yes, you're very kind and she deserves it. You're great. Elisa, apple green. I have a lot of things going on in my head when I hear that color. There's 5 keys.
Yeah.
Each key could represent anything. We've just talked about going into ourselves, exploring who we are, finding out our values, our gifts, our talents, maybe our weaknesses. Have you ever done that study before?
Partially.
Partially, good. So now we're going to do a crash course, like learning Japanese in 30 seconds. You're going to do the same thing. One of these keys opens the glass. I'm going to take it. I'm going to mix the keys one more time. And you're going to follow your instinct, to follow you. You're going to grab inside and just take one key. Whichever key you want, it's your choice. I do not want to influence you. Have you got a key?
Yep.
Are you happy with that key, Elisa?
Looks good.
Looks good. Do you want to keep it?
Yes.
Yes. She's determined. Apple green. Elisa, I'm going to take the lock. You had a choice of 5 keys. You grabbed inside, you picked one, a single one. A key that could represent anything. In this case, your potential, your talent, you.
So much pressure.
Yes. Imagine me being the last speaker after all these wonderful people spoke before me. Insert the key, please. I'm letting go of the lock. Big round of applause for Elisa! Thank you very much. You may return to your seat. It doesn't matter whether you're a magician, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a doctor, a baker, or stay-at-home parent. It doesn't matter what you do. What matters is who you are. The key is exploring who you are. The key is embracing who you are. The key is finding your why, your purpose. The key is seeing your own possibilities. The key is using your talent until there's nothing left. The key is doing one small, meaningful action every day. The key is lifting others up. The key is never giving up. The key is not letting doubt or negativity get to you. The key is giving something beautiful to the world. The key is leaving the world better than you found it. The key is leaving something behind. The key is within you. Thank you.